I'm on the way to Thailand for a week of mine diving on the border with Myanmar, joining a team of exploration divers on a mapping project of the Boh Yai mining complex. In today's episode on the DiveSAGA channel.
Welcome to Thailand, everybody, and welcome to another episode on the DiveSAGA channel. It may surprise you, but in those mountains behind me, that's where we're going to find our dive site today, the Boh Yai mine complex. If you follow the channel, then you know that I really like mine diving and I'm kind of excited about industrial history, and today is going to be something special. First things first, let's head to base camp and let's get ready for our first dive right here in the Boh Yai mines.
Our base of operation for the coming week is this beautiful terrain at the bottom of the mountains that contain the Boh Yai mines. Here at base camp it may look peaceful, but the compressor is running, the booster pump is working and our trucks are being loaded. I am joining exploration divers Mikko Paasi and Patrick Whitman to support their attempt to extend the lines at the mining complex. Currently, the line ends at a depth of 100 meters deep, but they are convinced there is more. So, over the next few days, our whole team will be preparing, staging, surveying and mapping in an attempt to document the extent of the mining tunnels and perhaps even make them accessible to other divers. Tiger, the base camp guard dog, is here for moral support, while the rest of us load the trucks for a first familiarization dive. Once everything is prepared for the day, we head into the mountains and into the mining complex.
So we are going now, I'm taking you to Boh Yai mine complex. It's a complex of mines, so it's a kind of a minefield. And there is more than 10 mines in this area, which we've discovered 4 of them. We've been diving. 4 of them have water. 2 of them are massive, which is where you're gonna go today. And we laid, like last 2 years, we've been laying in just in these 2 mines. We put over 5-6 kilometers of cave line. And the beautiful thing is that there's no blueprints of these mines. So, I mean, it's kind of like real exploration when you don't really know. It might stop tomorrow, that's the maximum, or it might go 100 meters more, so we don't know.
Because no blueprints exist and the region is littered with endless tunnels, some of which submerged, it is indeed anyone's guess just how many more kilometers of unexplored mines lay underground in this region. This peak, known as the Mount Everest of mining, is mostly hollow on the inside.
This is probably a good time to remind everybody that cave diving and mine diving without proper training is extremely dangerous and you should not attempt to do that. Yeah, you can always subscribe to the DiveSAGA channel to follow these type of diving adventures, but if you want to engage in activities like that, seek proper training first. What do we always say on the DiveSAGA channel? The crazier the entrance to the dive sites, the crazier the dive. Cue the dramatic music.
Some of these tunnels do eventually lead deeper underground, where they have flooded with groundwater. In some of the tunnel ceilings, the rigging for ventilation ducts is still visible. We park the trucks underground and start setting up shop for our first dive. It's pitch black in these tunnels, and some of our video lights need to serve as work lights so we can get organized. At the mouth of the now flooded part of the mine shaft, a large fan was left behind. Because the tunnels run hundreds of meters deep and kilometers long, air had to be pumped into them to keep workers safe. Working here must have been extremely taxing. As I enter the water, Mikko is preparing his DPV with 360 cameras for mapping. In one of the next episodes, we will further explore this process. But for now, I'm focusing on getting to know the Boh Yai Mines, making sure my equipment is tuned to this environment and not swallowing the goop that is floating on the surface. That goop is guano, also known as bat poop. Because we enter the water shallow and need to gear up in the water, the entrance point of the dive site has been silted out. But after a few meters, it clears up nicely. Notice how the shape and size of these tunnels are similar to the tunnels that led us into the mountain. That is because the entire mine was excavated to fit trucks, driving in and out to help extract the ores. Although this part of the mine is now underwater, it is no different from the above water sections. And if you look to the bottom left, you can even still see the tire tracks of the vehicles that use this driveway. It's quite incredible that after all these years, these tracks are still visible. But then again, this is an exploration project, and very few human beings have been here since the mines were decommissioned and flooded. It's time to leave the mainline. We do this by installing what is called a jump. With a jump line, we connect the main line to a secondary passage line. This is an important process because moving from one line to another without installing such a jump line would mean we have no continuous tactile reference line back to the surface. This would be catastrophic in case of a loss of visibility, as we would never find our way back to the exit. And although the water is extremely clear, the sediment is very light and easily disturbed. Especially when navigating through narrow passages which were used as ventilation shafts, temporary loss of visibility is almost inevitable. This ventilation shaft is in essence a shortcut from the driveway above to the lower levels of the mine, leading to a large chamber. It's mind-blowing to think that all of this was excavated by humans in search for lead, zinc, and even silver. The scale of this mine is not to be underestimated, and tunnels and passageways connect to one another from every direction. As Mikko mentioned earlier, no blueprints seem to exist, so only the surveyed sections of mine currently have line in them. And it is exactly for this reason, to extend the line and create additional survey information, that we are on this expedition. Because the Boh Yai mines were mostly stripped down after decommission, most heavy machinery has been removed. This makes that at some points only the straight walls remind us that this is not a cave. But at some points the tunnels are restricted by large heavy metal doors. These doors served as ways to control ventilation in the mines, to close off certain sections to prevent the spread of dust during blasting, or even to control the spread of hazards during emergencies. For us, they form interesting artifacts of a bygone era, and let's be honest, they're also fun restrictions to navigate. But not all doors have stood the test of time. This one is missing a few panels, but that actually makes it better. As we are about to turn the dive, we hear the sound of an underwater scooter in the distance. The fireball zooming over our heads is Mikko with his surveying equipment. With his 360 camera, floodlights and scooter, he is able to collect footage in real time, all to be processed into a 3D map of the entire mine. This process is called photogrammetry. Because this episode is part of a series of 4 videos, we will be able to dive into the mapping process later, so make sure to subscribe to the DiveSAGA channel. I guess navigating the restrictive metal doors with this contraption is a little bit less easy, but even those doors will eventually be included in the 3-dimensional map, so it is necessary to include these passages in the survey. Speaking of passages, we also have to make our way back up the ventilation shaft we descended through earlier. Luckily, the silt disturbance from the way in has settled nicely and the water is clear again, so it is easy enough to backtrack our way out.
You guys, what a crazy dive again. There are literally dozens of kilometers of tunnels and actual tunnels that fit trucks underneath this mountain in the middle of the jungle in Thailand. This is amazing. I mean, and I'm blessed because I'm gonna be here for a whole other week, so we're definitely gonna have more episodes coming up. I need to thank Mikko Paasi from Kotao Divers and Bottom Line Projects for having me here, because this is amazing. So make sure to subscribe to the DiveSAGA channel if you haven't already, because we'll definitely be back with another mine diving episode here in the Boh Yai Mine in Kanchanaburi, Thailand. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.